In the name of merciful God, greetings to you all. Today, I'm honored to introduce to you a Persian cryptocurrency project, which is 100% community driven. The COE project, which stands for Community Driven Economy. Before getting into details, a short biography of me, so you can get to know this project's designer. I'm Amir Hossein Ehsanbakhsh, known as Amirov or the shorthand Arov. Last year, after a huge loss on the blockchain space, I started to develop a project on the ICP blockchain. Despite my expectations, it's gotten great feedback, although we had to overcome tough challenges. After a year of non-stop work and development of the true meme coin on a hard blockchain platform, which we are going to get into later, suffice to say that the ICP blockchain is not the easiest to work with. So after many challenges, we found out that a small token can lose its value when it gets saturated in its demand. So we inquired, how can a cryptocurrency project guarantee profits to its investors? And where we ended up is funneling huge amounts of demand into the cryptocurrency market. In our saying, COE is 98% decentralized. You might ask why. Let's review what a totally decentralized token is and what are its attributes. As told, COE is 98% decentralized. But what about the rest of where does the rest of it go? Fusion of the two markets requires responsibility of the developer team, although we can even decentralize further and invite new businesses to join. And strike a partnership, where we stand 2% of our projects going to be centralized. Coming back to the businesses that are going to be made, which we'll get into. Here you see COE web page, which can be seen in both Persian and English, which is made to ease newcomers to the emerging crypto space. Understanding the COE project requires a basic knowledge of cryptocurrencies, and only then we can understand what COE is. It is apparent that not everyone is familiar with cryptocurrencies, so we've decided to share this knowledge with the world totally free and use the ICP platform as a starting ground to teach each other how can we build a project from the scratch. COE is going to be developed in two main categories: token and traditional market. How can we develop a project in a community-oriented way from the get-go? To truly and completely go community-oriented, we've got some stages to go through. COE consists of 3 NFT collections. The first one's named AP COE, second one's named SP COE, and the last one's COE. A reminder, if you hear any unfamiliar words, don't worry, as we'll get into a comprehensive definition of them as you go through the guides. But as a tangent, NFT is a document of ownership. If someone owns a document, that document cannot be copied or duplicated. And that's why NFTs can be seen as ownership contracts. Ownership contracts that cannot be multiplied or duplicated are stored on the blockchain structure. It cannot be divided or deleted. COE is made of 3 NFTs. One of them is AP COE, consisted of 10,000 NFTs, which might change during DAO polls. All these NFTs are going to be distributed during educational or marketing campaigns. Community-oriented means that in the beginnings, the distribution needs to be free of cost. Interested users are going to stay engaged. We'll get to know these tokens better as we go on. Our last 2 collections are called SP COE and COE, which are consisted of 1,000 and 5,000 NFTs respectively. As stated above, these numbers can change during the DAO polls by the community. So we have three collections with different distribution amounts and uses. The AP COE's goal is to bring in new potential users. And lastly, of its main qualities is 2% of these tokens' liquidity is going to be distributed among AP COE users. Respectively, 1% and 10% of the liquidity is going to be distributed among SP COE and COE holders. Another quality of AP COE is when you are holding this token, you can participate on the DAO structure. Now you might ask, what is the DAO structure? It's a structure in which the community can participate in cryptocurrencies management and projects' next steps using polls and choosing between given options. A way to integrate democracy so the AP COE holders can participate on the DAO structure. Next noteworthy quality of AP COE is that holders can get access to special material and content. In other qualities, AP COE holders can buy SP COE tokens with a discount. On a more important note, during the distribution process of AP COE, every token equals to 42 NFTs, which means every NFT held equals to 42 tokens. COE tokens max out at 21 million tokens, just like Bitcoin. We will explain how we are going to introduce rest of these tokens besides the initial 16,000 on our upcoming guides. So the COE project's first step is marketing, but how are we going to do this? By free giveaways and social marketing. The second stage is distribution of 1,000 SP COE NFTs, which are priced by the users on the DAO structure. Funds acquired from the SP COE token will be used for marketing. So the first stage, we pick potential users' interest with free giveaways and airdrops. Then those who are interested to engage further can buy SP COE tokens. Remind you, with discounted prices if they own the first collection. SP COE holders get 210 tokens compared to AP COE's 42. And that's how we acquire the necessary funds for the project's marketing and get even more users. So far at stage 2, we have the funds needed for marketing. What's up with that last NFT, COE? COE's price is determined by the DAO structure. Only SP COE holders can buy COE at a discount. What is this collection's purpose? In the last stages, users can pre-purchase a considerable amount of liquidity. All the funds acquired by this NFT is used for an LP between ICP and COE token. And this is where ICP and COE tokens can be exchanged. But of course, this liquidity pool can be different. For example, Bitcoin and COE tokens can be exchanged also. These are important decisions that through the journey will go through the DAO structure and get decided by the polls. It's the community that decides what percent of the COE collection will enter the Bitcoin or ICP liquidity pools. Don't worry if the words sound unfamiliar, again, we'll get to it. A noteworthy quality of this project is that COE tokens are decentralized, but why? And what difference it makes? Let's assume a token named X. When developer team named A has total control over how the project goes and has the ability to pull out all the liquidity out of the liquidity pool anytime they want, that project is a centralized project. Some people think that it's only a scam when a dump in price happens, a quick dump. But when a project is centralized, the developer team has the ability to take out all the liquidity pool, with rather incremental changes happening on the price chart. Two parts need to be decentralized in order to call the token one. First is the token's controller, where all the codes are written. which needs to be put in a black hole, with no one having access to it. Second factor is access to the liquidity pool by one person or a team. In order to be decentralized, all the LP token must be terminated in a black hole, so no one has access to it. What might happen is someone big like a whale can buy a whole lot of it and have lots of influence over the project's fate. But that project is not necessarily a centralized project just because there's a big supporter. Whales always work for the good of the project, so in the long run, more whales the better. So far we've learned where is the COE project going to get its initial users from, where it's going to get the needed funds for marketing, and how its liquidity is going to be provided. As we've said, COE is going to connect the traditional market and the decentralized token platform, businesses which are going to provide jobs and cash using the new technologies. Let's assume that COE has been distributed and the price is fluctuating due to market supply and demand. With 1,000 to 10,000 holders, we get to the second stage, where this project is going to start running traditional businesses. When the tokens trading has begun at a polling event, at least 3 to 5 max blueprints with certain requirements, of course, are chosen by the team, will be put on the poll, which are sieved from the ideas presented to the developers. Then the community can choose which business blueprint is going to bring in more profits. How can these traditional businesses bring in profits for investors though? How can these traditional businesses bring in profits for our investors? Let's assume a traditional business like a cafe needs $10,000 to begin with. Now, this cafe is going to commit to funnel 20% of its total earnings to the token's liquidity. But how exactly is going to happen? Let's assume first month all the earnings are $500. Now, that cafe is going to buy $100 of COE tokens. Question might come up. How are we going to determine the earnings? Well, there are conditions. Any traditional business run by this project must be committed to sharing their earnings with the community at any given moment. So there needs to be an accounting protocol in which when a customer buys an espresso, it's all registered under. So there needs to be some degree of supervision on the businesses. So 20% has entered the token's structure. Guys, a token's price is going to be determined by the token's supply and demand, which we're going to get into later in a comprehensive but easy to digest way, so you can judge all the crypto projects that you come by. So when 1/5 of the earnings is used to buy the tokens, it causes the token's price to go up. But then what happens? Are the tokens going to just stay there? No. When the tokens are bought by the businesses, they are moved to a liquidity pool in which users can stake their tokens and receive monthly earnings on a percentage basis. So anyone with more token investments is going to earn more of the business's earnings. And COE, which is a Persian endeavor, if starts a business, all the earnings are going to be distributed to our community. So when our traditional market customers increase in numbers, the business is going to thrive and prosper. In other words, when businesses win, the community also wins. Isn't it awesome? Just by interacting with the business, your assets are increasing in value. Blockchain's unmatched transparency is what makes this possible. And we together, with each other's help and support, are going to develop this project. You might ask, is COE token going to be purchasable on international exchanges? When the developer team is in Iran, we can't expect it to get listed on CoinMarketCap the day after tomorrow. Using DeFi and decentralized exchanges, no matter wherever you are, you can buy COE tokens. And buy COE tokens in seconds, that is. Or sell them to your heart's desire at any moment. So far we've learned that what does even community driven mean? It has to start from zero and be upstarted by its community. It's the community that provides the cash flow. If I, as the developer, invest a big amount on this project, you as the community has no guarantee that I give back to you. Our investment as a developer team was the website and other smart investments and tools which are sponsored by our last meme coin project. Again, that capital was not put by the development team, as the meme coin holders are now considered investors of the COE project. Inside the web page, in the more section in which you can check the news, a think room where you can ask and share your questions and inquiries with the community, and information transfer in which you can get access to all our educational content and material. Those who are willing to support this project, you can do so from the more section also. So today we've learned about community-driven projects, among many other things. I'm not going to stretch this first episode any further. Please follow us on our Instagram. Please consider backing us up on Twitter and all other social medias. Have a great day.